Hi, I'm Sam Yan. I'm the Chief Design Officer for SAP, also the Managing Director here at SAP Silicon Valley. We're thrilled to host the 6th UX Design Awards.
Good. Good?
Great.
Okay. In your talk, you talked about digital transformation. What does that term mean to you?
Yeah, companies across all different industries are being disrupted. And this is the positive spin of it is digital transformation. You could also call it digital disruption. Especially large organizations are being really threatened by this. And in the talk, we're talking about design actually being a very strategic part. Not just a design sort of thing, but crossing over to business. This is a CEO level topic to help organizations bring their creative competencies, innovation culture into organizations, so that they can innovate fast enough to keep pace with the change.
Innovation culture is also sort of a charged word. Can you unpack that term also?
Yeah.
What does innovation culture mean to you?
Innovation culture, I think, should be something that is thought of in parallel with business culture, right? If you think about business culture, a lot of business culture is about execution, efficiency, and really, I talk about an innovation equation which balances execution and creativity. And I think innovation culture is just that balance to everything that you learn in business school, which is about strategy and execution. And I think going forward, business schools are now teaching about innovation and creativity.
What are sort of some of the greatest challenges that you've found with a company having to go through a digital transformation?
Companies that are successful have been successful because they've done things in a certain way, and they've grown to be world leaders doing things a certain way for years, sometimes 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. So anytime you're asked to change and question the things that made you successful is going to be very, very difficult.
Right. And maybe how SAP might have found ways to overcome that barrier.
Yeah. SAP is a great example of an organization that was successful, and we did some things a certain way for 40 years. The cloud disruption was our big thing that changed in our industry. That sense of urgency really helps things move around. We also had a top-down vision. Our founder, Hasso Plattner, really got into the topic of design thinking and helped push this, but it was an organizational change that had to happen over the course of years.
I've found that having that leadership, that champion from the top-down perspective is sometimes really important.
Yeah.
Do you believe that that's true?
Top-level executive sponsorship is really important, but not sufficient. You need to get the people on the ground that really get it, that are embedded within the organization, that can really amplify the message coming from on top. These are the people, typically kind of in middle management and the people that are actually executing on projects throughout the organization. Yeah. These people have to be the champions to drive change through the organization.
When you think digital transformation, I think to someone outside of our industry, they might think digital tools. Maybe you might want to just kind of comment on what the digital transformation means or does not mean.
Yeah, I think the digital transformation might be a misnomer, right? There's a lot of technology that enables it, but that's not really the challenge. The challenge is creating new experiences for your customers and your end users. Digital and technologies provide a way to do that, but ultimately you're crafting a new experience that's enabled by that, and ultimately for an organization to be able to do that, it's changing the mindset and changing the way you've been doing things in the past.
So from what you've seen as far as any of these transformation projects that you've worked on, so that's the now transformation. What's next? Where do you think companies who've already gone through that should be looking on their horizon to be prepared for the next transformation? Or what is the next transformation?
Yeah, it's hard to predict what the next transformation is. I think it's going to take many years actually to get
the rest of the world.
Yeah, the rest of the world, the large organizations to have this mindset shift, right? Again, to think about innovation and to balance creativity and execution. I think that's the big struggle that organizations are going to have for the next 5-10 years. Beyond that, I'm not going to try to predict that.
Okay, great. Are there any projects that you've seen so far at the awards that you're really excited about that you hope will win, other than an SAP project? Or maybe it is an SAP project.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna punt on this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna remain kind of unbiased. Yeah,
Okay.
it's always such an honor, such a pleasure to see kind of all the creative ideas and things in very different fields coming together at an award ceremony like this.
And one last question for some of the young budding designers, or even designers or people who are transitioning into the design field. Do you have any one piece of advice that you would give anyone starting off in the industry?
Yeah, I would say, and this was the subject of my talk, the role of design is really changing. Make sure that you're very good and deep in your craft, but think of the applications in terms of things that could be very, very strategic, right? I gave the example, Jim Hackett, head of a design firm, Steelcase, is now head of Ford Motors, right? So, from an opportunity perspective, designers can go all the way to the very top of an organization today.